Yes, okay, it's true. I'm 40 years old and I like a children's cereal. And a couple weeks ago I made some treats out of Rice Krispies. But I've been stuck in the house for a year. I'd like to indulge myself a little bit. Does that mean this week I'm not allowed to try making some treats out of Frosted Flakes? I hope I don't need to go into hiding over this. Hey everybody, if you were watching a couple weeks ago, I made these really good Rice Krispie treats with peanut butter and chocolate, and they turned out so well, it kind of inspired me to see what other sort of no-bake cereal bar treats I could come up with. And I was just going through the market, and I was like, ooh, let's try some Frosted Flakes. And I didn't think Frosted Flakes would go with peanut butter that well, so I thought, let's go back to that sort of traditional marshmallow binding. And then I was really curious, maybe we'll use white chocolate chips instead of chocolate chips and see how that turns out. And when I was shopping for those, I found these new espresso chips, and I was like, okay, that could be delicious. So I'm gonna try those as well. Maybe I'm gonna do a swirl between the white chocolate and the espresso, and then maybe I'll do another sheet that's half and half just to see how they taste on their own. This is all an experiment, so we're gonna see how this turns out. Okay, just like with the Rice Krispie treats, we're starting out with a half a cup of Caro syrup, followed by a half a cup of sugar as well. Let's go. I'm going to add in just a little bit of unsalted butter here to help with sticking. Alright, now we're going to add in 1 cup of the marshmallow cream. If you're on the East Coast, you can use the Fluff brand, which I grew up with, but this is what I can get in California. Just let this heat a little bit. Just melt all this in. Alright, starting to melt down. Okay, now it's 3 cups of Frosted Flakes. We'll see. We'll see. Mix this all together. Maybe we need some more cereal. Frosted Flakes are a lot bigger than Rice Krispie treats, so might be a little experiment here. Let's see. Doesn't look like it'll make too many bars, does it? Do a little bit more. For measuring sake, let's try 1 more cup of Frosted Flakes. Okay, first up this time, you're not gonna forget to pre-butter these baking pans. We want this to pop out of here this time. Alright, now let's transfer this mixture into the baking sheet. Just press all this down. That's not going to make very much, huh? I'm going to need to make more of this, guys. Alright, I'm going to try this in a smaller dish. The measurements on this just do not add up to quite the same. I told you guys, this is an experiment, so let's see. So maybe if I do a second batch, make the portions a little bit better. So this one will be the swirl, I guess, then. Parchment paper to help myself out here. Alright, there we go. That's better. Okay, so as I said, I think I'm going to try a swirl of the white chocolate chips and the espresso. I'm going to about use half the bag. Let's just see how it covers. Some white chocolate chips down. Let's get some of the espresso chips down. Okay, so same as with the Rice Krispie treats, we're going to pop these under the broiler for about a minute. Now let's spread out these chocolates. This melts funny. It's not working. It's nice. Alright, well, note to self. White chocolate and espresso chips don't melt as nicely as chocolate chips. But, anyway, we'll see what happens. I'm going to let it cool down to room temperature a little bit, and we're going to put it in the fridge for like an hour or so. Let's try this again. Start with some butter this time. It's sticky in there. Caro syrup. Half a cup of sugar. Heat off. Now we're going to try 6 cups of Frosted Flakes. I think everything's coated pretty nicely now. Let's get this back into a mixing dish. This time I'm going to try melting the chips in the microwave and see if the melt turns out better. I buttered these the Pyrex a little bit, just didn't know if it was going to make a difference from it sticking, but let's see how this turns out. I'm going to pop these in the microwave for 45 seconds. Let's see if it's melted. Put this in for a little bit longer. Well, it's a little bit better than going under the broiler. This is the way to go with the white chocolate. Out in the microwave. Alright, we'll try pouring this over the top. Oh, it's so much better. There wasn't a whole lot left. But whatever, spread this out, see what happens. Just gonna use some more chocolate chips. Now we're gonna melt up those espresso chips. Into the microwave. These go for 45 seconds. Or a minute, we'll see. All right, that looks nice. So much better. Now let's pour this on. Oh wow, so much better. So much better. All right, now we're gonna put both of these pans into the fridge. Okay, into the fridge as I go. Okay, so it's clear that one of these batches is gonna turn out better than the other, but this is why I'm experimenting. It definitely seems that pre-melting the chips in the microwave is definitely the way to go. It just melted a lot nicer and then poured over the top, and I was able to spread it nicely. This white chocolate and espresso just doesn't seem to react the same way as regular chocolate. I think I've seen people in the Great British Bake Off have that same problem with white chocolate, so it's not just me. Anyway, we're going to let it all sit in the fridge, harden up, and then we'll cut them into bars and see how they taste. So it's pretty clear which one looks better. This one, just the chocolate did not melt correctly, it didn't temper correctly. It's just turned into like crumb, but it might still taste good. But this one, even though we didn't have enough chocolate, look at that. It's like a beautiful temper on the chocolate again. And that looks really nice. All right, well, we're gonna take them out of here, cut them up, and see how they turned out. They turned out all right. Now we're gonna taste them. So here you can see we have the first batch. Now the chocolate didn't melt so well, but that was the espresso and white chocolate combined. And we have just the white chocolate, just the espresso, and then sort of a black and white version of both. Now we're gonna taste them and see how they come out. Let's try the ugly one first. Oh, and that espresso kicks in. Chewy. It's kind of hardened a lot. I'll leave these out at room temperature for a little while. So you definitely get more of the espresso taste in this than white chocolate. Now I'm going to go for just the white chocolate by itself. That one is nice. The bar itself is not as hard for some reason. Maybe because we had more Corn Flakes in these than we did in those first bars. That's really good with the white chocolate and the Frosted Flakes and marshmallow.
White chocolate.
Alright, now we'll try just the espresso version.
Espresso!
That's got that espresso kick. That's really interesting. I don't think we have to taste this because we'll know what it is. They just look nice. The combo taste is really good though. The white chocolate espresso together. Taste-wise, this is the best. If I could redo this to look like that while pre-melting the chips, I think this would be the winner. Well, it's always fun to experiment.